So we both grew up on 2000s cartoons, Lou.
We did.
You know, waking up every morning at school, you know, get a couple of episodes going before rushing to the school bus. Well, that was my experience anyway.
Yeah, it was like a fix. It was like a fix. You did it beginning of school, and then you got home, you had another couple of hours on the Disney Channel, on Nickelodeon or something, or Cartoon Network, and then, it was like cracked for a kid.
Yeah, exactly. And there were so many good shows in the 2000s. So
there was a lot.
Yeah, so we decided to do the top 5 best 2000 cartoons.
Good way to spend it. Like maybe building a rocket or fighting a mummy or climbing up the Eiffel Tower.
So kicking us off at number 5 is Phineas and Ferb, which began to air back on the 17th of August 2007 all the way up until the 12th of June 2015. The show followed the old stepbrothers Phineas and Ferb, who lived in a little city, well, not a little city, a big city called Danville, and they're probably on the longest summer vacation of all time, aren't they, Dill?
Yeah, no, they are.
Every day they're on summer vacation, yeah.
Yeah, that's what made it so good, though, because they were always on holiday, and we always wished to be them, because, you know, it was just a continuous holiday for some reason in their world.
Exactly. And the way we do it, each day we just spend their time creating the most insane of constructions, and then you've got poor Candace just losing her shit because the amount of stuff they would do, like that one hit song Wonder or something, where they built like an elevator to the sky, to the universe or something like that, or to space, and you got Candace just like, Mum, check it out. Obviously it's all cleared up, and then she just goes crazy. And then you've obviously got the other thing that I loved about Phineas and Ferb was you had the subplot of Perry the Platypus and Dr. Heinz Doofenshmirtz. Did I say that right?
No, you did. It's a great name.
Doofenshmirtz Corporation. Yeah, that little jingle. And I generally think in this list, it's probably the best subplot on these cartoons, because the chemistry Perry the Platypus or Agent P had with Dr. Doofenshmirtz it's just such a fun subplot.
No, it is. I really love that he's a platypus, because you wouldn't think of that animal before this show. Whereas would you see a platypus in a cartoon?
No, exactly.
there isn't one. It's just so random, but it's so funny.
And that's hard, because you've had so many animals in the past and across so many different cartoons, and so the fact that they've just decided to choose a platypus, which is like probably one of the first ones to just make it into such a big character, is just a genius on their part.
Yeah, no, it's so funny, and like you said, the chemistry between those two are really, it's just hilarious. You know, Doofenshmirtz is, he tries so hard, but he always fails.
Do you remember the acronym name for Perry the Platypus's agency?
Oh no, I don't actually.
He works for the OWCA, and it stands for the Organisation without a cool acronym.
Oh, okay, that's clever. I like that.
It's just dumb stuff. It's just little things like that I just think that Phineas and Ferb is just such a fun show to watch. You know, like
it is.
And what I like about it is just that everyone gets on with each other. Like there isn't any like beef with all the characters. Like even Perry the Platypus and Dr. Doofenshmirtz, they both know they need each other. You've got the parents in the show that they just have a normal relationship. They just get on with it. And like even Candace, she loves her brothers deep down. And then obviously you've got Phineas and Ferb who just are best. They're just best friends, and it's just such like a good-hearted show.
No, yeah, I agree. I just love every kid loves the idea of summer holidays. That's the best time for a kid,
exactly.
And you probably have too much time because you're probably bored. So like, the premise of the show is like building loads of stuff that, you probably can't build as a kid, but at least Phineas and Ferb has the imagination to build it. And I don't know how they build it. Like they're just master engineers. They're like Tony Stark level.
Yeah, honestly. But that's it, and like I think that's what a lot of kids in the 2000s just loved about Phineas and Ferb, is that they just captured all these imaginations of kids that they would love to do, like let's go outside and build something, and then they just took that and just ranked it up to 100, and it's such a good show because of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Back to the past, samurai.
So moving on to number 4 is the one and only Samurai Jack, which originally aired back in the 10th of August 2001, and it finished on the 20th of September 2004, but obviously recently it was revived for a 5th season, which aired back in March 2017 to May 2017. So for those who don't know what Samurai or who Samurai Jack is, he's a Japanese samurai who wields a magic katana, and it's basically capable of cutting through anything, and obviously he takes on an evil known as Aku, Zaku, they fight, he basically beats Zaku back, he sends him back into a dystopian future which he rules, and then it just goes from there. I think it's probably one of the most visually pleasing cartoons we have on this list.
Yeah, definitely, man. I agree with that completely.
Yeah, some of the fight sequences alone are just incredible to watch.
Yeah, I love the fight with Samurai Jack versus the Shinobi. I don't know if you've seen it. It's the one where he's in white and he's black, and it goes between the contrast. It's
so awesome.
It's so
such
cool.
An awesome fight. So the thing I liked about Samurai Jack is that the show can basically do whatever it wanted. Like the setting, the characters, and like the background, it just gave them like you could be fighting Spartans fighting robots, for example, or like aliens undersea and stuff like that. Like it just opened the door, and they made each thing like a self-contained story so cool to watch.
No, exactly. Yeah, like every episode had like its tiny story that branched off to like obviously Jack going back to the past. We sort of got to see some like interesting characters like the Monkey Man that taught Jack how to jump high. Jump good. You want to jump good. Yeah, that's it.
But that's it. Yeah, like I think it has like obviously it can be pretty emotionally gripping as well, but Samurai Jack it can be pretty funny as well to watch, and the characters, like you said, some of the characters in there are just so memorable, and like how they interact with. Well, he's not really actually called Jack, is it? That's just his sort of like.
Yeah, just people just call him that because then no one knew his name really. Yeah,
but I think it's such a show that anyone could get into because every episode is basically self-contained, and I think it probably has my favourite intro. I love the intro.
The intro is so good.
The monologue with Akuma. It tells you exactly what you need to know, and then you have such a nice little bit. And like I said to you before, I didn't know until I researched that will.i.am actually sang the hook, and it makes, now that I listen back to it, I was like, oh, how did I not clock that? But
I know.
It's such a good hook.
Thinking about it now, as one of the most iconic like hip hop influenced like cartoon theme songs. Like there isn't a lot, but like when you're watching it, you don't like you said, you don't know it's will.i.am because you're so young.
Yeah.
And then you go back to it, it's like, oh shit, it's him.
Yeah. And it just makes the show even like cooler. It's like you've got a Japanese samurai in a dystopian future with like a nice hip hop intro. Like it's just such a cool show. And there is a reason why it got revived for another season about 12, 13 years later after it originally finished, because it's just that good. And even the originals, obviously we're not judging season 5 in this list, but it's still a very good season to watch.
No, it is. Yeah, I'm glad that they finished it. It shows how popular it was and how many people wanted it back, that they could do it without like worrying it would do bad. I think they always knew it would do well just because how good the cartoon was, because the original run was obviously just more focused for kids rather than the 5th season. It's
definitely one of the most unique and visually pleasing cartoons on this list, and it deserves all the accolades it's ever won.
Yeah, definitely. So our number 3 pick was Justice League, and the first episode premiered on the 17th of November 2001. We also added Unlimited just because it continued on straight after Justice League. It was a straight sequel after it, so it's basically the same show.
Yeah, it's a continuation.
Yeah, but I love this TV show because it was my first real approach to the Justice League, and the 7 members in this one is probably the most iconic to early 90s and early 2000s kids, to be honest. You got obviously Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Wally West, John Stewart, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and Hawkgirl. See, a lot of people. This is a good mix of a cast because they're all different. They all got different personalities, and I don't know why. I just feel like it's the best we've seen out of a Justice League team. The show does a great job of portraying the relationship of each member, and because of that, we see so many different villains from each person's own universe. So Joker, Darkseid, Lex Luthor, and they're probably the best portrayed still in this animated show. But this show did such a great job at referencing to the comics and knowing how to build these characters really well. We get to see the rivalries on screen and explore loads of different side characters and different sidekicks as well.
No, yeah, like, I think, because you got on this day and age now of these TV shows like The Flash and Arrow and stuff like that, where, look at these crossovers, it's so awesome and all that, and like, this was done a decade ago so much better in the Justice League Unlimited. Like, if you wanted to see your heroes cross over, this was the show to watch. And
exactly.
Like you said, the Justice League wasn't always that set, like, superheroes you would think the Justice League are. They used to interchange and whatnot, but it didn't affect the show at all. They did it so well, just taking out Batman or Superman or whatever, replacing them here and there when they needed to, whatever the story was. And this is probably, I think it's probably one of the best. I know you love your animated superhero shows a lot more than I do, but for me, this is probably like the pinnacle of animated superhero shows. It's definitely DC's probably best effort.
Oh, definitely, yeah. They still get high praises for this show.
I think this was the best version of Kevin Conroy's Batman as well. I think he had Batman in the 90s and whatnot in the cartoon.
Iconic,
Yeah, I think in the Justice League and the Justice League Unlimited, I think this was our best version of his Batman in an animated situation. I don't know what it is, but I feel like his deadpan humour and his sort of relationship with Wonder Woman and all that, I think it's just a really unique take on Batman. I think they nailed it perfectly.
Yeah, it's great that we got to see Batman properly with the Justice League. Again, we still haven't seen it. The 2017 Justice League was so bad.
They've got the blueprint. They have the blueprint. For
I know. It's just watch this. Just watch the thing and then make the film. Like, that's all you have to do.
How hard can it be?
Yeah, it's not hard. And Unlimited did such a great job because we got to see so many low-key superheroes that were only introduced in like DC Comics. We don't really see them in other medias. But because of it had the same consistent writing as the original Justice League, it painted them in a really good picture. And just with the Justice League to like help them during those missions, we got to see those characters grow. So we got to see like cool characters like Dr. Fate, The Question, Red Tornado. A lot of people still don't know who these characters are, but if anyone liked comics or just were interested in seeing more superheroes, Unlimited was that great chance for people to see.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Water, earth, fire, air.
So our number 2 pick was Avatar: The Last Airbender, and first premiered on the 21st of February 2005. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Avatar is set in a world in which people can manipulate one of the 4 elements, which are fire, earth, air or water. But only one of these people can control 4 elements, Lou, and that is the Avatar.
The Avatar.
Yes, and the current Avatar in this timeline is Aang, and we follow Aang's journey to master the elements and defeat the evil Fire Lord. Now, for a kids show, this is a very sophisticated kids show. It starts off quite slow, but because of that, it builds the characters really well, and the storytelling matures with the characters as the ones that we're following as well.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, like you said, it's a slow build, but you definitely get rewarded for investing your time into the slow build. Like you said, they develop really well, and the plots develop really well.
Yeah, and because of that, the show has a great mix of this action, romance, and comedy. It's a great genre blend. So it's not just dedicated to one particular fan group. Like that's why a lot of adults like it as well. Because it's not just for kids. There's a lot of elements where like anyone can just relate to it. The show does a great job of introducing genocide, imperialism, just terrorism in general, which obviously is dark and very scary. Yeah, it's quite serious for a kids show if you think about it. But the show does a really good job of portraying that in a not, I don't want to say in its easy sense, but it slowly introduces elements to that without like throwing it at your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it's an underlying theme sort of, but like you said, it's not like genocide.
Yeah,
it's the way they cultivate the plot and the story and how they tell these stories. They do it really well.
Yeah,
I think that's probably one that's one of the two best things about Avatar, is that the plot, it's never really bogged down by the underlying themes of what the story's trying to tell. And obviously it's coupled with some incredible animation.
The animation's great.
Yeah, exactly. So you just get so invested into it that you're not really paying attention to that one theme, you know, like it really like gets the characters, the world building, the animation, like the dialogue. It's just a perfect combination of every aspect that you look for in animation and in cartoon in general.
The world building is probably one of the best in a TV show because it's so concise and every episode is quite important. You get to learn just the different techniques, like the culture of every nation, like how people live with the Fire Lords taking over everything. It's just really interesting to see, like, and the creators did a great job of paying homage to loads of different cultures and religions. So like everyone So the air nomads are basically based off the Tibetan monks, and they share the same beliefs as like Buddhism and Hinduism. So in the show, they don't really eat any meat, and that's shown in how Aang like acts around the other characters. Ba Sing Se has a lot of influence of China, and the water tribes actually have like the similar culture as like the Inuit culture. So they wear like animal furs, and like they primarily eat fish because they're in like icy landscapes. It was very interesting how many cultures are combined into a cartoon, because I don't think there's another example of that really.
I think it makes it unique in that sense, because like you said, they intertwine all these different cultures of that sort of area, and they just do it again so well. It's hard to take so many cultures, you can get overwhelmed with it and still be respectful to all those sort of like inspirations and whatnot. But again, with Avatar, they absolutely nail it.
No, they have,
they do,
especially with the villains, except for the main villain. Like he is just Prince Zuko. He like everyone has like a redemption arc, and we get to explore their emotions well. Like the show does not want to just portray them as a bad guy for no reason.
Exactly.
We get to see explanations on why they're like this, like what happened. And Aang's missed like 100 years. So in a sense, like a lot of
Captain America shit.
Yeah, a lot of things would have changed, and a lot of people's ideologies would have changed. So it's cool to explore those side characters deeply as well.
100%. What element would you want to be a bender of, Dill?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Pick one. Yes, which one? What comes to your head?
Air. I don't know. Air, I think.
I think water. I'd be water.
No, water is sick. Yeah, especially in the show. Like there's some sick, without any spoilers, but there is some cool stuff that you can do with water. I just want to fly. I feel like I just want to fly.
You can still fly with water, you know. You should just like.
I guess so.
Get water. I don't know, like water volcanoes under you and just shoot you up.
Water volcano.
It would be terrifying.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea?
SpongeBob Squarepants!
Absorbent and yellow and porous is he.
SpongeBob Squarepants!
If nautical nonsense.
So our number one pick is Spongebob Squarepants, which first premiered in May 1st, 1999. Now, for anyone who doesn't know what this show is about, I don't know, well, you guys are first weird. You are very weird. This show follows a sea sponge called Spongebob, who lives in a pineapple under the sea.
You don't break into song, Dill.
No, I won't. I won't break into song. I'll leave that for later. But he works as a fry cook in a restaurant called the Krusty Krab. And this is it's probably the best young kid entertainment, to be honest, isn't it, Lou? What would you say?
SpongeBob for me is probably one of the best multi-generational show that you can just watch with people from different ages in one setting, you know, like I don't know what it is about it, like on the face of it, it is very simple. You've got like a sponge that has an idiot of a best friend in Patrick Star. And they just get up to a load of some weird crazy things, but like when you're actually watching it with like a kid or something like that, it's just such a fun show to watch. It's hard, like it's probably the modern day Tom and Jerry. if that's a fair comparison. Like it takes like a pretty simple premise with some simple characters, but they somehow make you still care for them and like connect to them somehow. You know, I don't know what it is. It's just it's hard to do such a thing with like SpongeBob did. Like it's such a unique show.
Yeah, I think it's just because it's very consistent of what it is. Like it knows what it is and it doesn't want to change what it is, because all the characters around SpongeBob are very depressing. Like Mrs. Puff, who's just just hates everyone, and obviously Squidward.
Yeah,
you know, he's a massive sourpuss.
But I'm putting a disclaimer out right now. If you haven't watched SpongeBob since you were a kid, watch it now, and chances are you are going to realise you are Squidward. No lie. Well, I watched this recently, and when I was watching it, I was just like, oh, SpongeBob's funny, but God, he can be annoying. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm Squidward.
Definitely. Yeah, no, definitely. Like, my neighbour has some kids, and they gave him a massive metal bell, and he was just ringing this like it was from like 16th century church. I was like, why is he doing this? And I was just like, oh my God, I'm negative.
Squidward.
I'm so negative. He's just trying to have fun with his bell.
But then that's why it's so fun for someone our age to re-watch now. If you were watching with a younger family member or a cousin, or I don't know, if you're babysitting, it's actually fun to watch because you actually start just connecting with Squidward than you do with SpongeBob. and Squidward is legit hilarious to watch.
No, he is,
It's so funny. So the supporting characters as well are just funny in their own way. Like Mr. Krabs and his like obsession with money. It's just downright funny. It's hilarious how he just like any dollar when I think he has like a heart attack or a stroke or something like that. And SpongeBob breaks to get like an emergency dollar bill weighted over his nose.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
It's just little things like that just make each of these characters on the face they seem so one-dimensional, but then they just play into their quirks, and I think that's why everyone just like they're just such memorable characters because of that.
Yeah, there's just so many iconic moments. Like I remember the pet race, and then Patrick's pet was a rock, and it won for some reason. I don't know how it won. It just won. I remember the Bubble Buddy.
The Bubble Buddy, yeah, and then you got the Sweet Victory as well.
Sweet Victory.
Sweet Victory was just awesome. I think the main reason why I think SpongeBob is just one of the best cartoons of its time is just that the cultural impact, it still has a cultural impact today. You rolled your eyes at me when I said this to you, when I said that it's involved with memes and stuff like that, but SpongeBob just finds a way to just manifest itself into our everyday culture, even though the show aired bloody 20 years ago now. It's like it just has such longevity, and I think its cultural impact is just so. I don't think it'll be very hard for a new SpongeBob to come up and to take its place.
Yeah, definitely. I can't really think of one that. I mean, we're not kids, so I don't really know. I mean, there might be one growing. We're not sure. Yeah. I'm not too sure, but no, definitely. I definitely think SpongeBob is a generational kids show. One of its own,
and it's just you'll have a lot of fun watching this in the future with anyone. It's just it's so timeless. I think it's like I said, it's the Tom and Jerry of the 21st century, in my opinion.